Hey everyone, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the garden at the Grow To Gather Homestead, where Amber and I are just doing a little bit of more seed saving. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk to you about one of the most amazing greens that I've come to grow here in the homestead for the last few years. So let's get started. I'm saving seeds for it for next year. But honestly, it's such a great, there you go, sweetheart. It's such a great self-seeder as well that you may find that you don't really need to save seeds on this one. And I'll show you how to do that later. But first, let me tell you about this plant here. So right now, it's full of lots of seed heads, as you can see. And this is Orache, okay? Sometimes you might hear of it as being called French spinach or mountain spinach or salt bush. It's not truly a spinach. It's related. It's also a member of the amaranth family, and it's a very, very productive, easy to grow, delicious, nutritious green. Those of you who live here like me in southern Alberta are aware that we tend to have cool nights but hot days, and so that can make spinach growing here a little bit challenging, okay, because it tends to bolt a lot faster here than it does in more areas that are cool consistently, and our hot days tend to cause bolting. So a lot of people only grow spinach in the spring and in the early fall here, but this can be grown pretty much the whole growing season. It's one of those plants that's one of the very first greens that comes up for me. I do a lot of winter sowing, but for this one, I can actually cut these seed heads down and lay them down on the bed, and it'll sow itself, okay? What I usually do is I prep one 4x4 bed, and that's what this was this last year. See, I'll show you some pictures of how much production this thing gave me. But what I do is for one 4x4 bed, I do the outside with garlic, which is the right time to be planting that right now here in southern Alberta, early October. And then I just lay some of these seed heads down on top of the compost that I put down in the bed and leave it alone. And in the spring, I get so much production from this. And I'm going to show you a picture of it right here of what it looked like in May. See, it does look like spinach, and it should, because it's closely related. It's very delicious, and you can use it the same way that you use spinach, but it's not going to bolt as easily. I harvest continually off of these, and I only let them go after I've had tons and tons and tons of harvests off of it, and it's one of my best producers. I got enough of this year to do lots of my powdered garden greens with it. So, because I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of room in my freezer, but I do want to preserve as much of my goodness from the garden as I can. And so I did a lot of my powdered garden greens with it, and I just use it the same way I would use spinach, okay? And I'll show you a picture of the garden green here. So I put that stuff that I preserved from these, this wonderful plant in soup, stews, dips, yada yada, it goes on and on. We use it tons fresh. We like to pick the younger leaves for eating fresh in salad. As it's growing up a bit, we tend to use the older leaves cooked, same way you would spinach. And also I do put it in that in the dehydrator for dry garden greens. These, like, I got pounds and pounds and pounds off of this bed here of the stuff. And then what I did is, as it was growing, I would pinch the top of it, much as you would a lot of other plants, so to encourage the deep growth. But eventually I did let this bed go because I want to save tons of this seed. Not only do I want to grow more of it next year, and I'm going to be packaging up lots and lots of this seed, I also use it to feed the animals around here. My chickens and my ducks really love it when I throw one of these in there during the winter when it's kind of rough for them. We include these seed heads in our festive bird feeding wreaths that we made. We've got videos about that. We'll be making one soon so you can see that. And I also use this as decoration in the house. I've got a bunch that I picked about a month ago that I've allowed to dry, and I'm using it in floral arrangements with bulrushes and stuff to give that sort of fall harvesty sort of look, because it's actually quite pretty. Some of it is actually a beautiful red color, see? And that's like, that says autumn to me. So I like to use it in floral arrangements, and then once the floral arrangement's done, these are then dried out and ready to use. When it comes to seed saving for this one, it really doesn't get any easier, okay? So I've got some that you want to wait until it's fully husky and dry, and you just basically, you're just going to go like this, right? Obviously, I'm going to be more careful where I'm doing that, and I'm going to store it. When you go to buy this stuff, it's called, as I said, Orache, and it comes in lots of different colors. This is a green Orache, as you can see from the pictures that I showed earlier, but it's also available in a red, in a yellow, supposedly a huge range of colors. So that's kind of my goal for this next year, is to find a lovely bunch of multicolors. I want to, because honestly, I can't have enough of this stuff at my house. So why not try some fun colors as well? And it's so easy to grow, okay? And you can grow it throughout the whole season. I'm actually considering even putting some in the greenhouse right now, and seeing, now that I'm going to be cleaning out the greenhouse, and see how it does, because it's also, not only is it bolt resistant, it's frost resistant. So this is one of the first things that starts coming up. So it's often still snowing, and it doesn't seem to harm it. Another thing that's really awesome about this plant, and I just looked over at my poor arugula, and that reminded me about this. It's super pest resistant. My arugula and all of my brassicas had serious issues. Like, this year was a bad year for flea beetles. So like in the beds that are surrounding this, there are a lot of little arugula and brassica leaves that are just eaten like crazy from flea beetles, whereas this wasn't touched, okay? It maintained beautiful, lush, green, crunchy leaves, and it seemed to avoid pests. So this is why I think if you live in southern Alberta, you might really want to give this a go. Delicious, nutritious, easy to grow, doesn't bolt, frost resistant. Like, what else do you need? Okay, this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful plant. I love spinach, but I don't grow it that much anymore, because why would I do that when this tastes and be treated almost exactly the same, and it's easier? Who doesn't like something that's easy? So I hope that's helpful. If you do see it around, I've seen it spelled both ways. Orache, O-R-A-C-H, O-R-A-C-H-E. Either of them, it's the same thing. You may also see it being called French spinach, mountain spinach, salt bush, and you'll see it in a multitude of colors, okay? I hope that was helpful. I hope you'll give it a try. I'll post this video again in spring when everybody's running around buying seeds, because this is really worth trying out, okay? Just believe me, you're going to be really, really happy you did grow this if you do want to give it a try. All right, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave some comments. Let me know. Subscribe if you want to see some of the stuff that's going on here at the homestead. And also, as always, make sure you take this chance to grow together today. Have a great one.